Hey, so we're here at Indy Popcon, and I'm talking to Sombra. And is it okay if we?
I'd love to stay and chat, but I'm not going to.
Oh, okay.
Boop.
Make that big boss less special. It ain't no game, but they saying welcome to the second level. Second level gaming.
Hi guys, and welcome back to our coverage of Indy Popcon 2018. And I am here with Carolina Ravassa, otherwise known as the voice of Sombra from OverWatch.
Sombra online.
Oh wow, and many other things as well. But Sombra is kind of our thing because we are, as you can tell, giant Overwatch fans.
I can tell.
Thank you.
I saw it a mile away.
So first of all, how are you enjoying Indy and Popcon? Is this your first time in Indiana?
First time.
Yeah.
I went jogging. I love to, wherever I go, I love to go jogging around, well, usually near the hotel.
Okay.
And it's nice when you're in the center. And so I went down by the river or the canal.
Right.
And I just love seeing the different sites and the kids playing outside. And I just kind of get a feel for the city a little bit. So
That's
it's
kind of your
beautiful.
thing? Like every city you go to, you have a jog someplace?
Yes. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's a
if
neat
the weather
thing.
permits. And today it was 86 degrees, which was really humid. But I survived.
We were very nervous
Yeah.
about the thunderstorms that are supposedly on their way because
Okay.
like the electrical equipment and whatnot like that. So
Yeah.
you may, I don't know if do you jog every day?
No,
Okay.
I
Just
tried,
some days.
but some
Okay.
days, yeah.
Good.
I did today. Tomorrow I might go to the gym. We'll see what happens. But I usually
Absolutely.
try and check out the city a little bit. Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit. I mean, one of the reasons why I love Sombra specifically is because I feel like with a lot of characters in Overwatch, there's this kind of overarching theme of them being a hero and having a trait about them, but that trait not defining the character.
Yeah.
So for example, Tracer is a gay character, but that does not define her by any means.
Right.
You have autistic characters, and then you have representation of Latin America with Sombra, but it's never like, she's not like a hokey like Latin America character where it's just kind of like everything's kind of like cheesy or whatever over the
Right.
top.
I don't
How
sell
do you-
burritos or tacos.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the representation of Sombra as a Latin American character in the game?
Oh my gosh, I'm super excited. I love that they cared very much about making her from Mexico City, so they were very specific about the accent
Right.
in Spanish, which I think is important because you have so many Mexican players and they want to be represented properly.
Absolutely.
And so I feel honored that I could play a Mexican even though I'm not. And I also like that she's, I mean, yes, I have an accent in English when I play Sombra, but I don't think it's, a hokey, like you said, kind of joke thing of like the typical Latino talking like this, but I like that, she still has a connection to where she's from, and I feel like Blizzard does a really good job about creating three-dimensional characters
Yeah.
that are interesting and have a lot more going than just their ethnicity or their, whatever specific things that, like you mentioned.
It's kind of cool that they still allow her to have like little salsa dance and everything, for emote.
But it's not even a salsa. It's like it's
know what
like
the real word is, or-
no, it's not. I'm here trying to do it.
You're doing the Running Man
it's
right
not
now.
a Hispanic dance at all. So
Is it
that's
not?
no. Salsa would be different. It would be more like.
yeah,
this.
you're right, yeah.
I'm showing you right now.
No, it's on
but
it.
no. So even that is not. It's not like a Mexican dance,
Right.
which is it's fun. It's just like how would this character
Cute
dance?
little thing.
And yeah.
We like Lucy doing the hustle with her thing.
Right, exactly. Like, is that Swiss German? Not really. Yeah.
So you came in, Sombra came in as a later character in Overwatch as well. It wasn't one of the original kind of cast, if you will. And then when they brought her in, they did this kind of like very epic ARG game thing,
Yeah.
which dragged on for a little while. But it was super in-depth and interesting, and people got like hyper into it. Were you a part of that? Like, were you a part of any of that? Or did they just
Nope.
say, record your lines and just hide until someone says go? Or
Well, I recorded lines. They said your character comes out November 5th or whenever BlizzCon was. And I was
Okay.
like, okay. But they didn't tell me. I was like, what is ARG? When a fan asked me that at
Right.
a panel, I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So I'm glad I didn't know about that hype because I think
Yeah.
it would have just... I wouldn't have understood it, first of all, and I just would have been like, oh my gosh, so are they dropping clues? What's going on? I think it's better when you don't know stuff and then boom, it just happens and you can be pleasantly surprised.
I think they kind of learned that the fans were a little thrown off with that one when they released Brigitte, because they were just like, let's just throw her out there and like, they
Right,
can enjoy
right.
it, But I think Sombra's a very, very interesting character, and especially the way she came to be. Do you affiliate at all with any of do you dig the hacker status? Is that a cool thing for you?
Oh, yeah, I think it's so badass.
Did you watch like Hackers in the 90s and all that?
Well, no, because when when we go in to do voice work, I mean, I think for on-camera work, you do a little more research with your character because
Right.
you're on screen and you're doing stuff, and it's a little bit more in
They have
depth.
to see you.
With voice works, it was like, this is what she does, but like a lot of my lines, yes, are about hacking, but it's not like I need to understand it so in depth.
It is not. But you don't have to learn the inner workings of coding or anything like that to sort of get it
And there's a
done.
lot more to her than just what she hacks, you know.
Right.
So it was more. I think the more important thing was understanding her essence and
Right.
and her wit and her sarcasm and dark
She's
sense
a little
of humor.
snarky.
Little snarky.
Little bit.
Yeah, I think.
In
yeah.
a good way.
Yeah.
So the anniversary event is, I think it's ending this weekend, correct? I think it's like. it's
I have
pretty
no
soon.
idea, but sure.
Okay. Did they clue you in on any of the anniversary stuff? Did they they just don't
No,
really?
I mean, for the most part, say I recorded something in May and I recorded I Know Who's Been Naughty, and then I wait for months, and then Christmas comes around and they release that. So
Wow.
we could have recorded stuff for the anniversary, but we weren't aware
you
that it
wouldn't
was
even
for
know
that.
that it was for the anniversary when you did it.
Yeah, sometimes they let us know, oh, like it's clearly a Halloween line, but you know, we don't always know when things are going to be released. So I just
Wow.
wait till it's online before I can retweet or say anything, just because I assume it's not online until it is, you know.
Do you get to play the game at all? Have you played the game at all? I'm
I
assuming
played
you
at
tried.
BlizzCon and I failed miserably. So I have I have an Overwatch date in 2 weeks with a friend of mine.
Okay.
Have you heard of Detroit Becoming Human?
Yes,
So
absolutely.
my friend Brian plays Connor. In
Yes.
the game.
Absolutely. He was in the
And-
demo, too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he's been Twitch live streaming. So we're gonna do a Twitch session and it'll be fun. I'm scared.
Are you gonna play yourself and do the voice lines?
If I can double like multitask,
That would
sure.
freak people out. I remember they had the name escapes me now, but the fellow that plays Genji. I'm
Oh,
sure you
yeah,
would know.
Gaku.
They made him play. They had the guy who does the voice for Roadhog teaching
Josh.
him to play.
Yep.
And then they had him over the microphone just
Oh my
consistently saying,
God.
"I need healing.
I need healing. I'm
That's
Genji.
just the best thing
yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try. We'll see, because sometimes you just focus on not dying.
Too
so
much,
I'll-
too many things going
yeah,
on. Can't multitask.
I might just go die,
That'll work.
because I'm dying.
Just be Reaper, sure.
Yeah, right.
And have you followed the league at all? As far as that goes.
Well, I went twice.
Okay.
We went. I went with Symmetra and a few other peeps. We showed up, and you know, it's so fast and hard to understand.
It's a little, yeah, I could see it's a little confusing for the.
Also, because they have
you
a bunch
know.
of screens and they keep switching, so you're never really
Oh,
just
do
following
they have
one.
multiple viewpoints
Yes.
going at the same time?
Yes.
That's interesting.
And I'm just like, who died? How did they die? What happened? So it's hard to follow. But I've
Yeah.
gone to support it, and I think it's awesome. And I'm just really proud that this has gotten so far. It's amazing. It's
We were talking to Lucy about the Mercy skin that just came out for the Breast Cancer
Yep.
Foundation as well. That was a
Yeah.
huge success, and that's one of the, I think, coolest things that can come
Yeah.
out of a game like this is not only the fact that you have sort of representation for different characters as well, but the fact that they use their powers for good. You know,
Oh my
they kind of
gosh,
like
yeah.
they try and do all these kind of events for charity and things like that, which I think is just so wonderful.
yeah. I hope there's more to come.
Yeah, absolutely. So what are you working on right now? Like, because obviously, like, Sombra's kind of like occasionally, I guess, you go to the studio and you do something. Is what other things are going on in your life
Besides
right
a
now?
ton of cons to meet the fabulous Overwatch community,
Right.
I have recorded for a new video game
Okay.
that will be announced soon, which is
Ooh,
super
is it
exciting.
E3? You can
I
announce?
don't, maybe.
All right,
maybe.
all right.
And I am going to record for some other stuff coming up, but we can't talk about it till it comes out.
Totally
so,
fine.
And then some animation stuff for Cartoon Network and Disney, little things here and there. But I'm always auditioning for film and TV,
Gotcha.
and just hoping that it just keeps growing in terms of work. We just want to constantly be working.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
And is there I mean, obviously there's a difference between doing voice acting and sort of regular acting, if you will.
Yeah.
But what do you think is the most distinct difference? Is it a comfort level thing? Like the fact that when you're voice acting, you can, I mean, I guess you do have to kind of put yourself in the mindset of the character still, even though
Yeah.
you're in a vocal booth. But is there more preparation in one than the other?
I think for on camera, there's more preparation, definitely, because you have to
have to,
learn
like,
your lines.
your
You have to be
emotions.
off script. Which when we record in the booth, we're always reading a script, so we're never
Right.
we're never off book. But it's acting with your whole body and being on camera and talking to somebody. You're using your whole instrument versus acting. You're acting again. Well, I
Right.
do act with my whole body when I'm in the booth, but somehow it's more freeing because it doesn't matter all the weird faces you're making, because it's just about how you sound. And so
Right.
I love that I can also play characters that I don't look like in the booth, because
If I sound like this,
Like, if this was on screen, it would be kind of weird. But as a little, little bug in a movie, it's totally believable. So I feel like the booth is freeing in some ways, but on camera is also really fun. I just think they're different animals,
When you were talking about your friend that does Connor for Detroit Beyond Human, I know that Detroit Beyond Human has been kind of renowned for this amazing mocap that they have using that.
Yep.
So that is almost equivalent to
totally.
full body,
No, that's
thing,
well. I consider that full body acting because I mean his face is there. It's
in
him.
the game. Yeah, absolutely.
And you are using your whole instrument. So and it's about hitting.
I love
your
how you
mark
keep referring to an instrument. That's
It
wonderful.
is.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Like, it makes sense.
I was thinking about jogging this morning. It's not like, we just need to keep in shape. It's we use this to act all the time.
Yeah.
So if it's not healthy, we can't go on set. If my voice is tired, it's my guitar that has a broken string, and so if it's broken, I can't properly.
If you're a gamer and you have
make a
carpal
sound.
tunnel, you're out of the game.
For real,
Right?
Soccer
Makes
player.
sense,
If their knees effed up, that's their instrument. They gotta keep it in tune. So, yeah.
Oh, thank you. The last thing I wanted to ask you was, how did it come about? How do you go from doing, I know you did GTA and things like that. How did the whole Sombra thing land on your doorstep, so to speak? Would you just audition like regular? Did your agent say, hey, would be good for you? Or how did you
agents always submit us for work that they consider we are good for. They see a breakdown that Blizzard sends, that this company sends, and they read through them and they go, Lucy would be good for these roles because I know she can do these, Carolina, they submit us, and then Blizzard gives us that audition.
Okay.
So because I speak Spanish and can do Spanish accents, they gave me this audition, and I auditioned, and I didn't hear for about 2 months from them. So I kind of brushed it off
assumed
and thought
it was out of the window?
Yeah, but I also didn't know what it was, so I didn't worry. I'm like, okay, well, I didn't get that one. It's like, we don't get hundreds of auditions, so it's part of, not booking stuff. I was lucky that Blizzard was auditioning in New York because a lot of those auditions happen in LA, and I lived in New York at the time, so I feel like it was kind of just luck too.
Serendipity?
Yes and no. I mean, I think they were looking for Hispanic characters, and there's a lot of Latinos in New York, so that's
Makes
where
sense.
their search happened as well. But it's not like Blizzard said, oh, Carolina's great. It was just like, let's audition a bunch of Hispanic actors in New York, and I happened to be one of them, and they liked it. So,
Perfect.
But this was my 9th year hustling and auditioning for voice stuff. So it's like I'd been doing tons of them for the past years, and this just happened to be
was the one that clicked.
This one was for me. You know what I mean?
And I'm sure you've noticed when you said you would travel around to different cons and stuff that the fan base is rabid, to say the least, when it comes to Overwatch in
They're
general.
very excited, and we love meeting them all over the world.
That's so
it's
great.
Really cool.
Every single one of the voiceover artists for Overwatch that we've met have been just the nicest people on earth, and we've you're welcome. We met Charlotte Chung last year.
Yeah,
we had a couple others.
Sweetheart.
But it's been a whole lot of fun. So I just want to thank you for taking the time out of your
thank
busy
you.
con schedule to answer a few questions. It was an absolute pleasure to meet you.
Boop.
I got booped.
Okay. You got boop. Boop.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That's wonderful. And enjoy the rest of your con.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you, guys. Goodbye.